Good morning. So I am going to go ahead and get started with this webinar. If you can hear me, please raise your hand. Just want to make sure that everybody can hear me. We only have a brief amount of time to go over the nutrition education plan, so I want to make sure that we are able to cover the plan and be able to kind of walk you through it. So thank you for attending today. My name is Carolina Martinez, and I am Nutrition Education Specialist here at the Office of the State Superintendent of Education. I work in the Division of Health and Wellness, and I work under the Healthy Schools and Wellness Programs team, which focuses on developing resources, technical assistance, and for various health topics. So today we are going to be talking about the plan. So what exactly is the nutrition education plan? We'll talk about how you can use the plan, and then we will talk about how you can obtain support if you want to use the plan. So the Nutrition Education Plan is a guide that was developed by the Office of the State Superintendent of Education so that we can use it as a guide when we're developing nutrition education that's related to different programming, and just a guide that others working in nutrition education, like community-based organizations, other district agencies, schools, universities, and basically anyone that's interested in enhancing the quality and the quantity of nutrition education that is provided to district students. Anyone that is doing that can go to the action items in the plan to see what they can implement to better improve that education. And so the actions that are stated in the plan are not requirements, but those working in nutrition education are strongly encouraged to fulfill or participate in them with the purpose of, again, enhancing.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning. This is the Introduction to Nutrition Education webinar. We are going to be quickly introducing the Nutrition Education Plan. We'll walk you through it a little bit, and we will tell you about how you can obtain support and what the intentions of the Nutrition Education Plan are. So my name is Carolina Martinez, and I am in the Office of the State Superintendent, Division of Health and Wellness. I work under the Healthy Schools and Wellness Programs team. Today we're going to talk about the Nutrition Education Plan, tell you how you can use the plan, and how you can obtain support if needed to implement some of the actions that are found in the plan. So the Nutrition Education Plan is a guide that was developed by OSSE so that the Nutrition Education Plan was developed by OSSE so that whenever we're developing nutrition education related programming, we can use it as a guide. And for others that are working in nutrition education, like community-based organizations, district agencies, any schools, universities, or basically anyone else that's interested in enhancing the quality and the quantity of nutrition education that's provided to district students, can go to this plan and find some action items that they can implement in order to do this. And so there are various actions stated in the plan, and these are not requirements, but those that are working in nutrition education are strongly encouraged to fulfill them and participate in them so that they can contribute towards the goals of the plan. And just a little bit about nutrition education and why it's important. The reason that we created this whole plan on nutrition education is because it really helps, nutrition education helps students maintain a healthy weight, establishes healthy eating behaviors, promotes an overall healthier lifestyle. And we know that our students in DC are not eating enough of the recommended foods, for example, vegetables. So here we have a stat from the Youth Risk Behavior Survey. And this stat shows that in only 12% of high school students were reporting that they ate vegetables 3 times in the previous week, and that was actually down from 2012. Now this stat is from 2015, but in 2017 the statistic remained around the same, and so we haven't made much improvements in these areas. And then finally, we know that healthier students are better learners, and students that are eating foods that are better for them are going to be more energized and better equipped for learning in general. So this figure is adapted from some research that the CDC put together on nutrition and how it can impact academics. And then here you're basically seeing that students that had deficits of specific nutrients or were consuming a lack of recommended foods like fruits, vegetables, dairy, were hungry because they weren't eating enough, or were skipping breakfast. All of this led to negative academic outcomes like lower grades, higher absenteeism, and lower cognitive performance. So we really want, through nutrition education, to educate our students about how to eat well so that they can both be successful in academics and also just be healthier in general. The nutrition education plan is aligned to the whole school, whole community, whole child model. And you will see this in the goals that we're going to go over on the next slides. And for those of you that are not familiar with the model, it was created by the CDC, which is the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, to emphasize the importance of a school-wide approach. So the model really focuses its attention on the child, which is in the center, and the model acknowledges that learning, health, and the school are a part and a reflection of the local community. So that's why you see the community surrounding the whole model. So the child is at the center, and it's surrounded by the whole child tenets, which are healthy, safe, engaged, challenged, and supported. So that's what we want our child to be. And then there's a white band that emphasizes the alignment, integration, and collaboration that's needed among the school, health, and community sectors. And then in blue, you have different components. And you'll see how our goals in the plan were aligned to these different components. So the model that our team uses to really ensure that our work is focused on various parts necessary to fully support our students is this model. And that is why we've really tried to align all of our goals in the plan to this comprehensive approach. Now, we're going to go over the goals of the nutrition education plan so you can see how it was aligned to specific components and how later on the actions will help to reach these goals. So the nutrition education plan has a total of 6 goals. Each goal is aligned to various components of the WSC plan, which is the plan that we just saw, and the WSC model, which is a model that we just saw on the previous slide. And each goal has specific objectives to accomplish and various activities that have been identified as activities that can help achieve that goal. Now, the first goal is for students to receive age-appropriate, evidence-based nutrition education that promotes positive dietary behavior changes. So examples of activities under this goal include for the school to adopt a curriculum that is age-appropriate, evidence-based, and comprehensive. And the plan outlines various resources that are available to complete that action and all the other actions that are included. The second goal focuses on the nutrition environment, and activities under this goal include adopting smarter lunchroom strategies so that they can help enhance the consumption of healthy items that are being served in the lunchroom. The third goal focuses on partnerships between not just different organizations working in nutrition education, but also organizations that are working in the physical education and physical activity environment. Because we know that both of these components are very important for a healthy lifestyle and also very important for academics. Goal 4 focuses on parent engagement. This is a very important component because the parents that engage in healthy behaviors, then it's going to be more likely that their students, or the students that are going home to those parents, are going to be practicing those behaviors at home, and then that's reinforcing the behavior, which is more likely to help the students adopt the behavior in the long run. So some of the actions that are included in this section include offering nutrition education classes that include the parents, and then there's a one-pager for each audience in the plan. One of the audiences is parents, and we also recommend another action is to share that one-pager to provide parents with tips and tools that they can do at home as well. Goal 5 is aligned to the employee wellness component. So it focuses on school staff. School staff really has a key role in setting the example for the students. So it's important that if we're telling our students to eat healthy, that staff is also modeling this behavior. And actions include ensuring the local wellness policies actively implemented with staff wellness components. Now, the last goal has various components combined, and it aims to offer a healthy, safe, and supportive social and emotional climate and physical environment, health counseling, and psychological services, among others. The objective here is that schools will, at a minimum, know where to access resources related to these areas. Now, here you see a slide of how all of the goals that we just talked about can lead to healthier students and thus improved academic performance. The idea is that including this comprehensive approach in schools will both enhance students' nutrition knowledge and their consumption of healthy foods. All right, so I wanted to just tell you a little bit about the development of the plan, like how did we come up with these goals? What we did was that we did a needs assessment. The needs assessment focused on finding out what those working in nutrition education felt was needed, felt was missing. And so it started with some focus groups, and the focus groups took place with district local education agency leaders, school staff, other district agencies, community-based organizations. And then there were also various one-on-one interviews that took place. From the focus group and the interviews, we gathered some good qualitative data, and then we put together a survey, and the survey collected some more targeted information, and that was delivered to just the schools. And we had a pretty good amount of responses. About 88 schools total responded, and 73 schools total responded. It was 40 public schools and 33 public charter schools. And then there was a few schools that had more than one person respond. So when we looked at the results, we counted it as just one school. We also inquired with other states, what they were doing to get some ideas about nutrition education opportunities. And then using all of this information, we started thinking of what was needed, and we wanted to make sure that we were involving the community and those that are working in nutrition education. So we put together a Nutrition Education Plan Workgroup, and the workgroup met over several occasions to look at the plan, to come up with goals. And so the goals that we have finalized all came together over time, working with this group of stakeholders. Once the plan was at a good point and it had all the information that we felt was going to be in there, we presented it at a roundtable at the Health and Wellness Symposium last year in 2017. And then there we were able to get some more targeted feedback from educators about what they felt was going to be effective and what they felt could be improved in the plan. So to monitor the progress around nutrition education and knowledge, we can use existing tools. We don't have to create many new tools. We can use the health and physical education assessment, which provides us with data on what students know around nutrition, the Youth Risk Behavior Survey, which takes place every other year and tells us the behaviors that students are taking part in, and then the school health profiles, one of them being the Healthy Schools Act school health profiles, tells us what the resources are that are being provided to the students in the schools. So here we have these three very important pieces, which together are leading to improved student outcomes if we can use them appropriately to enhance our programming. All right, so the nutrition education plan, we're actually going to walk through the plan in a little bit, but I'm just going to go over some key parts, and then I'll show you the plan and kind of walk you through it. So there is a section on page 5, which you can just easily go to, and the section on page 5 has a quick guide so that you can see what some of the things that you can accomplish with the plan are and how you can go about it. So for instance, if you want to read about nutrition education best practices, you can go to page 22. Or if you want to learn about how you, as a, let's say you're a school, can go about enhancing nutrition education quality to make the goals of the plan a reality, you can visit page 24. When you go to the actual plan, the audiences will be broken down and it'll tell you exactly which page each is on. So if you're a school teacher, then you can see where would you go to find the most relevant information for you. Now here on the slide, I have a list of the actual audiences that have a section in the nutrition education plan. So the section has been tailored for them. So it includes activities and actions that are specific for them. Now this includes early child care education centers, LEA and school staff, and that was divided by administrative staff, educators, and then food service staff. We have students' families, and then we have anybody else that's working in nutrition education in the district. So each of those audiences that I just mentioned has this one pager. And if you just want like a quick checklist, you can go to the one pager for your audience and you can see, what are the main things that I can do so that I can improve nutrition education in my school or in my early child care education center in this case. So for example, here there are just 5 items and you can go and see what it is that you can do. You have a little checklist for yourself. After you've done this one pager, there is a section that's titled Getting Involved as a, you would fill in the blank with the audience there. And this section has more actions that each audience can take part on to contribute to the goals of the plan. So for example, one of the actions is that food service staff can work towards quality nutrition education by telling students about the benefits of school meals or specific items in the menu. And so as we know, students are getting these foods and being able to tie the foods to why they're actually having the foods and why it's important for them to consume those foods is really important. And so this is just one action that was identified that can help out in nutrition education overall. Then there are 3 different appendices, and the first one is the nutrition education best practices. So again, these are aligned to the WSCC model components, and really this section focuses on what the research says are the best practices around nutrition education right now. So if you want to go there and see how you're doing as far as what you're implementing, or learn about some other opportunities for you to implement best practices, then this would be a good section for you to go to. Then there's a transition best practices. We acknowledge that transition in schools can be a challenge. And so what can you do to ensure that programming and quality remain after staff leaves? So this is what this section would cover, some ideas as to what you can do to make sure transition is smoother. And then you have the resources appendix, and this contains a variety of links to resources that you can access through OSSE, other government agencies, and other organizations, so that you can help enhance the quality and the quantity of education that you're delivering to your students. So after you've gone through the plan, if you have any questions, you can request the technical assistance, and technical assistance on the implementation of the plan can be requested by placing a request through the Healthy Schools and Wellness Programs technical assistance request form. Now we have the website here, so you can go to that website. When you access the plan, all of the links will be there. And I actually want to just walk you through the plan right now for a few minutes. So this is the cover of the Nutrition Education Plan. When you scroll down, you have the table of contents. And I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that you actually have a handout. I actually attached a PDF of the plan. So if you want to follow along or look at it for yourself or download it and use it later, you can do that. If you don't, you can also just go to the website at any moment. The OSSE website has the plan already there. So here's your table of contents. Here's just an introduction to the plan and introduction to the importance of nutrition education. We have some of the diagrams that we just went over. There's a section on where we are in the district. So here we have, again, everything's aligned to that WSCC model. How are we doing in the district around the different WSCC model components? What do we currently have in place? And then this is the section that we just went over, so how to navigate the plan. And this is page 5. And then we have the goals and objectives. So we just went over the 6 goals. Each goal has more targeted objectives under it, and then each objectives also have these actions. And so the actions are the more specific things that you can do as an educator or as a community-based organization or as anybody working in nutrition education to, in the end, contribute towards these goals. And then the overarching goal is that, of course, we will enhance students' acceptance and consumption of healthy food items. Here, again, we have that same model that we went over, so how the goals are leading to the outcomes we want. We have the one-pagers. And then this is what that section of getting involved as an early child care education center looks like, for example. So as you can see, there's a little bit more context in here and a little bit more links. And the one pager just shows like the top 5 that you can take part in if you just want to pick a quick few. So here we have LEA and school staff. And these are just both placed on the same page. Here, if you wanted to print this one pager and hand it out, you also have the actual link address spelled out for you, so you can go ahead and type it in. If you're not using it, if you're not using a computer, you can't just click on the link directly from your computer. So we keep going like that through the different sections. There is a little box over here at the bottom right corner that talks about professional development opportunities and technical assistance available through OSSE. And so there's the menu of professional development, health services, and technical assistance. And this is a menu that we have on our webpage that can give you a broader list of everything that we have, not just with nutrition education, but just in general, every training that we offer or every resource that we have. And then for the food service staff, actual trainings that can contribute towards the professional development hours that food service staff needs have been highlighted as well with that little star. So here you have with any family members, what can they do at home? What can they do with the school also? So not just in the home, but how can they get involved with the school to make a difference? And then with anybody else that's working in nutrition education, what can they do and the resources? This is just a list of everyone that was involved. Thank you if you are on the webinar right now and you did help with the plan, your contribution was greatly appreciated and you really helped to shape the content that's in here. We have a list of all the references that were used. And then these are the different appendices that we went over. So as you can see, again, they are aligned to the WSCC plan, transition best practices, and these are all the different resources, again, with their link spelled out so that you can access it if you do print the plan and can't just directly click on the resource. So that is the Nutrition Education Plan in a nutshell. We really hope it's a good resource for you. And now, if you do have any questions, please go ahead and type them in, and I will gladly answer them for you. We have about 3 minutes, so I'll just go ahead and hang out here and, again, answer any questions that you may have. So I have a question that's asking, what is the timeline for implementation of this plan into the schools? And so again, the plan is not a requirement. We have put this out as a useful resource for those working in nutrition education to have one place to go to with all the various resources that we promote, all the various resources that the federal government promotes and that other organizations promote, and to kind of outline the common goals that we're all should be working towards around nutrition education. But there is no mandate to implement this plan by a certain date. So it would really be up to each school and each LEA to kind of determine where they are right now and then see what it is, what is appropriate for them to implement. You know, if you don't have a nutrition curriculum, maybe that's a good place to start. Can you find one that is appropriate for your student population, and then take it from there? You know, use that curriculum then to maybe integrate it with the lunchroom cafeteria. And so this kind of gives you those action items, but the implementation may look different for each school depending on what is currently in place and what their capacity is. All right, so it is 11:30 and I want to be conscious of everybody's time. Please feel free to submit a request or send me an email, carolina.arango@dc.gov, if you have any further questions. And again, the plan is available online. So if after you take a look through that, you have questions, then please feel free to shoot me an email or place a request so that we can better help you. All right, thank you very much for your time.